Hey everyone, Dustin here from Digital Nomad Lawyer. Just got done working out, but I had this idea that I wanted to teach you guys and tell you guys how to be profitable during the coronavirus situation. So so many people right now, they're losing money, they're cutting staff, things like that. And of course you may need to do that, and you should do that, especially if there is no more use for your staff during certain times, like they're in an industry, they're doing things and that they no longer need to perform those services, then you should be cutting them off. You should be reducing salary, things like that, to stay in business for sure. Second thing you should do is take advantage of all the government assistance. If you legitimately qualify, you absolutely should apply for that. But on top of that, I want to talk about how you can actually be profitable during this time. And this started for me about a month and a half ago when I read this book. It's called Profit First. It's a great book. And what happened was 3 weeks before coronavirus hit the United States, when they started doing lockdowns, my business actually, we almost tanked. We almost ran out of money. There's a saying in business, it's called growing, gone, where you grow so fast you can't keep up with the growth and you just grow yourself right out of business. And that's sort of what had been happening to us. We've been growing exponentially year after year, and our type of business is you get paid on the back end. So like 9 to 12 to 15 months after the case comes to us is when you get paid. And we had been growing so much, we had to hire a bunch of staff to keep up with the load, but our overhead went so high and we've been losing money. We lost money for about 7 out of 8 months in a row. And then finally it came down to, like, I looked at the financials one week and I looked at our payroll for the next week, and I'm like, the math isn't adding up. And we became about a week away from literally running out of money, being unable to pay our staff. And this happened 3 weeks before coronavirus hit, right? So I spent the weekend praying and thinking of what to do. And I came across this book called Profit First, and I highly recommend you get it either way. But what it talks about in the book is a technique where you are always profitable. No matter what's happening, you can be profitable. And the basic concept is the same as you might read in like a David Bach book, Automatic Millionaire, something like that. But what we've been taught sometimes is to pay yourself first in life, right? So like if you get a paycheck, you should take 10% of that paycheck, put it towards your savings, and do it automatically so you don't have to think about it, right? And that's how you save up money. But a lot of people don't do that when they're business, and I myself wasn't doing that. So what he talks about in the book is whenever you get money coming into the business, you take a certain percentage and you set that away in a separate bank account as your profit. You do that always, no matter what. And if you haven't done that or you're not sure where to start, you start with just 1%. Almost any business can get away by taking 1% of whatever money that comes in and storing that away. And you won't notice it in your daily budget, your daily activities. And what you do is you basically survive or live off the rest of it, the other 99%. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of a business is to do two things. One is to serve a client base with a certain value. The second is to make money, to make profit. And there's really no point in doing the business. You as a business owner, if you're watching this, you know it more than anybody else, the toil, the character that it takes, the constant, never-ending battle it is to own a business, to make it succeed, profitable, to be able to pay payroll, serve your clients, serve your customers. There's so many things that it entails, and only someone who's done it really understands it and gets it. And you should be rewarded for that. And the purpose is to make a profit, because at the end of the day, if you don't make profit, what's the point? And you're not able to sustain yourself. You're not able to sustain your message, your business to other people in the world. So you've got to make a profit. So what this book talks about is you take and start with 1%. If you're really skating by, you're only a couple weeks from payroll, start with 1%. You put that away. So let's say you get $1,000 today or this week or whatever. You take 1% of that, which would be like $10, and you put that into a separate account. And you do this at the end of every week or every other week, whatever. You have a separate account where all your money comes into one account. You take 1% of that, you put that into a separate savings account, and you call it your profit account. And you do this all the time and consistently, and then you live with the rest of it. Now, what you do after a period of time, what he talks about in the book, is every quarter you can increase it. So if you start at 1%, you increase it to like 2%, and then 3%. You keep increasing it until you hit a certain target. But that's the basic fundamental of it, is you take a certain percentage, you put it away as your profit, and that is your profit, you keep it. And if you do that and you survive with the other expenses, you are always going to be profitable, like no matter what. So I started doing that, believe it or not, with just a week left in expenses, and it's only 1%, it's a small amount, and we had to let some people go. We had to ask for people to take some pay cuts. We had to increase our certain measurables to get more money in. We did that, and we're actually able to avoid doing any pay cuts for a couple weeks, but then coronavirus hit, right? Ironically enough. So we ended up having to do some of the pay cuts, but what was weird is, and I guess kind of a blessing, is 3 weeks before coronavirus hit, we had already been treating ourselves as if coronavirus had hit, because it really was. We were really at the point where if we didn't make money or maintain some money right now, we were going to be out of business. So that's what we had to do. So that's my tip. That's my advice. We started doing that. We have been profitable ever since. Now, it's not a ton of profit, but we have been making money. And that's been huge for us, a huge change, a huge mindset. So take a certain amount of money, put it away, start with 1% if you haven't done it, and you build it up. Every quarter you go up to 2%, and then 3%. You slowly build it up till you're at 10 or 20 or whatever it is your target is. And then that's how you're gonna always make profit. If you wanna read through the whole book, I'll put a link down below. It's called Profit First. Really is a great book. Every business owner at any stage should definitely read this book. It was life-changing for me. So thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our channel, and see you later.